Hey, everyone, welcome back to Contest Prep University. Joe Klemczewski with Adam Atkinson, episode 5, wrapping up our series on how to win in women's bodybuilding. We are at contest day. And Adam, you were talking about having consistency and lighting just so you as a coach can see things. And I have a really weird question. I don't want to make it all about this, but you mentioned, usually by Friday night, competitors have tan. They've been to the host tanning or they've done whatever. And I swear, I don't want to think it's this because the scientist in me wants to think there are too many variables. Correlation doesn't equal causation. But I swear, as soon as people start getting that first or second coat on, something with their skin just gets kind of flat and they get what you kind of call a sodium flat look, where they look flat, but they also look kind of soggy. Am I just seeing things, or do you think there's some kind of a dermal reaction? Um,
I halfway wonder that, I really do. It makes me almost want to go back to having people tan,
hmm.
like and let their skin heal. But me and you kind of talked off camera about this maybe a year ago, and I swear my clients just always look worse when they have the tan on. It's not a peaking thing. I've had people who, get their coat in the morning. And I'm like, they look great up until then. It is partially a lighting issue, but I still think that, and maybe it's like the inconsistency of the color, but I really think that the tan does take away from the actual physique. So usually I err for caution and have people a little bit harder to prepare for them to look a little bit softer with that tan on.
My curiosity is if there's some kind of a histamine reaction, like almost like a skin trauma. The skin is the biggest organ in your body, and all of a sudden you're slathering this, alcohol based or something dye on it. I would assume there's just some kind of reaction, and so I don't know. Maybe there's something to investigate there. But on contest day in general, beside that, uh, with women's bodybuilding, we obviously want them to wake up super sharp, tight, ready to go. And then with food, hydration, movement, they're going to start filling out. But when you're looking at differences between live judging and traditional prejudging in the morning, finals, sometimes 2 day splits where they're on stage Thursday night and Friday night. I don't know if that's happening that much anymore. But with women's bodybuilding specifically, how are you trying to time that peak and then hold it how you need to for those different stage appearances?
Yeah, so if they're a little flat in the morning, it's not a food thing. If they had the conditioning I wanted by stage time the day prior, likely I'm not giving them a burger, fries, or trying to catch up because I've been managing them the whole week, unless they needed to make a weigh in. But in women's bodybuilding, that's not going to be the case on the top level. Maybe if they did a weigh-in in the amateur league, we may be catching up a little bit. But assuming everything was smooth the night before, it really comes down to management, not magic. And a lot of people make the mistake of wanting to eat a big breakfast or something like that. And that's usually the absolute worst thing you can do for 90% of people. So you just want to manage food, manage water, make sure digestion's good, and water is going to be our biggest hitter for show day on controlling how flat or how full they are, and mineral management, so sodium, potassium as well.
Decades ago, even in myself personally, before I knew better, that fear of, oh my gosh, I'm flat, I'm going to be on stage in 3 or 4 hours, let me eat food. That is a crusher, like you said, because you will probably spill over and you may not have time to rectify that. So just the confidence knowing, these are the same foods I've been eating all week. These are the same general food levels. Maybe I'm on, it's still an increasing progressive linear load. Maybe I'm very much the same as the day before. But if you're monitoring how you've looked in all those scenarios for the last few days, you should know those changes. You should know, okay, this is what I usually look like when I wake up, and this is usually what I look like 3 hours later after a meal. And so you just carry that through without the kind of stress that could create other problems hormonally. and without just being impulsive and creating some kind of a knee-jerk reaction that cripples your chances. I mean, it's sad to think that after 4, 5, 6 months of work, one tiny decision in the last couple hours can ruin it all.
You see it all the time where people post photos and they're looking amazing before the show. And then you kind of look at them and you wonder, well, first, sometimes you wonder if it's the same person you thought you saw online. And then you find out it is, and you just wonder what the heck they manipulated to look so off point.
Mhm. Well, for
So,
women's bodybuilding in particular, to close out this series, a lot of the things that Adam and I talk about in just peak week in general, some of those methodologies and the physiology are going to be the same. They're going to be uniform and appropriate. But again, remember, you have to make sure that you're maintaining that edge with conditioning. Just going back to our first episode and division criteria, you got to be lean enough to win. Then it comes down to, can you get as full as you possibly can so you get closer and closer and closer to 100%? I like to tell my clients, you got to imagine you're going in with a couple competitors who can beat you. Every single thing you do right can put you ahead of one more, one more, one more. So every good decision in those last couple of days are literal placements you're moving up, and you have to get in that mindset of doing everything right that you can. So hope you enjoyed the series. We're going to move on to other divisions. Adam, thanks for your expertise, and to our client who recommended this. Hope it suited your needs. We'll look forward to some questions and comments if not, and we'll see you guys next time in Contest Prep University.